Over the years, I've surprised a lot of people. The biggest surprise is yet to come.
Candace Owens' hypocrisy, the disingenuous disappointment in Donald Trump. Candace Owens has built a career on calling out hypocrisy. But for months right now, one person's hypocrisy has been poking us and her in the nose. But unfortunately, it seems she herself can't pinpoint whose that is. Candace Owens has developed a new trail of having disappointments in a couple of people. One of those people who stood out to me is Donald Trump, because in retrospect, that is one person she has sworn by. But unfortunately, her public disappointment in Donald Trump isn't about moral conviction or rediscovered principles. It's about personal fallout and personal or political convenience. And when you look closely at Trump's long history, his rhetoric, his policies, and his treatment of the very communities that Candace Owens is claiming to represent, her sudden disillusionment doesn't seem brave. It seems disingenuous and probably selfish. Before she was the right's most vocal firebrand, Candace Owens identified as a liberal. She once criticized Republicans as racist and out of touch, and one of the people she criticized viciously was Donald Trump, and it was in such a demeaning manner, if I may add, because I don't like the man personally, but I would not take myself down to talking about his male or manly body functions. But that is where we were. But around 2016, as the political wind shifted,
I am officially running for President of the United States.
So did Candace. The first thing that happened was this. Candace Owens launched a platform, which was called a doxing platform by so many people. The rightfully so called her out and said what she was trying to perpetuate by launching this platform was very evil and very, very unfortunate. What did she do? She was disappointed in the liberal people who were calling her out, so she went underground. She reinvented herself as a bold conservative voice, denouncing victimhood culture and celebrating free thought in Black communities. When Donald Trump rose to power, Owens aligned herself fully with his movement. She called him the best president for Black Americans, defended him through scandals, believe me, crazy scandals, and became a symbol of the Black conservative awakening. Trump in turn praised her publicly. It was a mutually beneficial relationship, you understand? I scratch your back, you scratch my back kind of relationship. Owens gained a massive platform and Trump gained a Black conservative defender in a movement often criticized for lacking diversity. But unfortunately, sadly, some people did not read the terms and conditions of the I scratch your back, you scratch my back kind of relationship. Here's where the hypocrisy is even thickening or begins. Candace Owens identifies as a Black American, a conservative, and a Christian. 3 identities or tenets Trump's rhetoric or records have consistently crashed. For Black Americans, Trump's language and policies were often dismissive and racially divisive. He insulted Black communities as crime-infested, attacked Black athletes for peaceful protests, and rolled back police accountability measures. Owens defended him anyways, saying Democrats were the real oppressors, ignoring that Trump's tone reinforced the very racial hostilities she claimed to fight against. For conservatives, Trump violated traditional principles. He ballooned the national deficit, undermined institutions, and replaced fiscal policies or principles or discipline with cult-style populism. And given Candace Owens' kind of followings recently, I see why she identified with that kind of cult-style populism. Yet, in those days, Candace Owens preached about limited government and accountability, excused everything Trump did, because loyalty to Trump at that time had become the new conservative litmus test. You might think that, well, besides being black and being conservative, what other reason would have made Candace Owens stand by this man, or should have made her oppose this man? Her Christian values, because she has always been Christian. It doesn't matter whether she became Protestant or Catholic, she's been Christian. And for Christian values, the contradictions are even starker. Owens often speaks about faith, morality, and family values. But Trump's conduct, infidelity, vulgarity, pride, and lack of repentance stood in stark contrast or direct opposition to Christian ethics. Still, Owens defended him as imperfect but chosen, turning moral compromise into political justification. By all measures, Trump contradicted everything Owens claimed to stand for. And she's not only looked the other way, but built a career defending it. And this is one thing that stands out when you look at Candace Owens. Fast forward now, and Owens says she's disappointed in Trump. She claims she's lost touch with the conservative base, and that his ego has grown and that his judgment has faltered. She complains about everything about his administration, including the way he has handled the assassination of her dear friend, Charlie Kirk, depending on who you ask. But these aren't new threats. They have always defined Trump. What changed was not Trump. It is Candace Owens. Because look, Trump has always been Trump. Moral credibility has always been low. When it came to being conservative, low. When it came to supporting and defending or being someone who will stand for the black community, it's always been low. But Candace stood for those three tenets, but defended Trump publicly, privately, viciously. What changed? He has not changed from any of those values, but Candace Owens has changed. What has changed? The turning point came when Trump publicly dismissed her and her criticism of his COVID-19 stance. After years of unwavering support and loyalty, he simply brushed her off, and that's when the shift began. Suddenly, Owens found his arrogance unacceptable, his leadership questionable, his tone unprecedented, and these flaws existed long before, when she was defending them on television and monetizing them online. Her disappointment doesn't read as a moral awakening. It reads as personal resentment, a reaction to being sidelined, and not a revelation about Trump's unfitness. And some even think one of the reasons she is specifically or particularly not a fan of Trump anymore is that after gaining the second term, he did not make her press secretary, something she was hoping for. But I guess she did not read the memo about those who are accepted to work in the White House, Trump's White House. You have to have the Mar-a-Lago look. Candace, you didn't read terms and conditions, girl. Let's be honest. Candace Owens' influence was tied to Trump's dominance. As long as Trump was the beating heart of the conservative movement, her loyalty paid dividends, followers, books, speaking tours, and brand power. She never waived that. But as the GOP begins to splinter and Trump's facing growing competition within the right, and also as Owens appears to be repositioning herself, she's not walking away from Trump because of conviction. She's recalibrating her brand to stay relevant in a post-Trump conservative landscape. Because one thing she sees, Trump's term has come, and this was the final one, and there is nothing left for her to gain there because she was sidelined. She sees the conservative movement not as something she believes in also. It is just a means to an end, which is why from the time she was screaming from the rooftop about how conservative she was and how she wants everyone to be conservative, suddenly she now thinks the left and the right should unite because she sees no difference in either side. Suddenly, it is a cause she is fighting for. You see the strategy? That's not principle. That is strategy. Candace Owens claims to be the voice of moral conservatism, Christian values, and truth-telling. But her records tell a different story. One of selective outrage and opportunism. She excused Trump's moral failings and deplorability when it suited her, defended his rhetoric when it was relevant and elevated her, and only found her voice of disappointment when the personal benefits disappeared. Trump didn't betray his principles. He exposed them clearly to her from the start. But she accepted, embraced, and even encouraged her followers to embrace them. That is dangerous. In the end, Candace's disappointment in Donald Trump isn't about truth or conviction, it's about convenience. She's not confronting Trump's flaws. She's confronting the reality that defending him no longer serves her. And that's the real hypocrisy that the woman who built her brand on exposing others or others' political delusions can't seem to face her own. And when you talk about facing her own, I am preparing a video which talks about whether Candace Owens is truly a traditional woman or a rejective feminist, because she seems to stand for one and proclaim another. I wish you stay tuned for that because it is going to be mind-blowing. Until next time, bye. So good.
Just I don't know, the spirit moving within them. Just like, I don't know. I would just be sickened with myself. I can't lie like that. I can't lie anywhere close to that. I can't even fib. And you're able to just sit up there like a soldier and just delude everybody, delude the masses, and sometimes do it through tears.